What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back and I want to talk about San Francisco because very predictably, the SF Gate is pushing back on the current narrative that San Francisco is collapsing in real time before our eyes, which is fine. I'm not holding that against them. I understand it is a huge part of their job to defend San Francisco like a raccoon guarding garbage. And in this article from June 16th, 2023, the news skews your impression. Well, you don't say. I'm sure that's exactly what they've been trying to do. Golden Gate Bridge tourists discuss San Francisco city conditions. So naturally, you can get a handful of people who are visiting the city and say nothing happened to them, so problem solved. What's the big deal, bigot? And in the article, they basically say that even though the city, by many accounts, has become an apocalyptic hellscape, spearheaded by corrupt politicians, tourists just don't see it that way. They claim that many tourists find the city delightful and that tourism is still strong. However, they do acknowledge that tourists can encounter problems like car break-ins, but that just shouldn't define the city experience. They talk to families visiting from Arizona, Dallas, Toronto, and Germany, all of which reportedly recognized the city's problems, but considered them typical for a big city and enjoyed their visits nonetheless. So what they're claiming is that people on vacay who don't have to spend every single day in San Francisco recognize the problems, but think it's just really not that bad. Again, fair enough, but you should try it for a few years and see how you feel. And this article seems to be a direct response to recent announcements of retailers and hotels leaving the city, along with some pretty scathing tweets from Elon Musk. So while the SF Gate is claiming that it's really not that bad, it's all overblown, people are visiting here and they love it, we have this story from Cron 4, June 15th, 2023, Cinemark and Westfield abandoning downtown San Francisco, just the latest in string of bad news. So the Westfield Mall, largest in the city, famous for its spiral escalators, plans to leave the city, and more recently, the Cinemark Century Center 9 Theater, one of the mall's tenants, is set to close its doors this week. Westfield, the operators of the mall for over 2 decades, cited challenging operating conditions as the primary reason for forfeiting its loan. And last month, Nordstrom, the mall's anchor tenant, announced the closure of its flagship location and a nearby Nordstrom Rack location. They say shoplifting, deteriorating street conditions, remote work, reduced foot traffic, and the rise of online shopping have contributed to the decline of the downtown shopping district. Numerous other businesses, including but not limited to Whole Foods, Park 55, Hilton, Old Navy, Cold Hardware, and of course, Walgreens, have all closed or declared upcoming closures. Another one from Cron 4, June 13th, 2023, San Francisco mayor defends controversial program for arresting public drug users. So the completely corrupt mayor of San Francisco, London Breed, Google her ethics violations and her payments, her gifts from Mohammed Nuru, different story. Anyhow, she is facing criticism regarding her pilot program that involves arresting individuals for public drug use. This is controversial now. Arresting drug users. We're not talking about some college kids smoking joints in an overpriced apartment. We're talking about junkies lining the streets, pitching tents, pooping, self-vaccinating in the middle of the sidewalk, harassing citizens. Arresting them is now controversial. It was also controversial when Mayor Breed said that it was mostly Honduran immigrants who were flooding the streets with dope, but that's a different story, kind of. City Board of Supervisors President Aaron Peskin proposed an operation involving multiple agencies to shut down the open-air drug market across the city, but the meeting where he proposed that at the UN Plaza, one of the hotspots for open-air drug use, was cut short because of pushback from the community where a brick was thrown into the crowd. And another supervisor named Dean Preston suggested that arresting and incarcerating drug users could contribute to more fatal overdoses. The inmates are really running the asylum out there in San Francisco. They're quite literally not even trying anymore. They're just saying the most outlandish things and expecting you to buy it. And why wouldn't you? You're already convinced a man can become a woman if he so thinks it, so the rest is very easy. Go ahead and put your mask back on. Then we have this one from the New York Post, June 16th, 2023. GMA warns reporter to avoid dangerous downtown San Francisco during segment on closing Westville Mall. So, ABC reporter Matt Gutman admitted that his bosses told him not to go live from downtown San Francisco because the area is considered too dangerous. While reporting on the closure of the Westville Mall, Gutman and his crew were instructed to film in a different portion of the city. However, the entire city, as I understand it, has experienced a significant increase in violent crime and, of course, fentanyl, with robberies, arson, grand theft auto, and homicides all seeing a rise over 5% compared to the previous year. Some people think that San Francisco is actually worse than is being reported because of the lack of enforcement from the district attorney. And that is peculiar because we hear these stories about how arrests are down and they want you to think that means the crime is down, but it really just means the crime is happening and we're not stopping it. And just for a little context, which I know the fact checkers love, this story from June 18th, 2023, as Westville Mall abandoned in San Francisco, Santa Clara's Westfield is booming at the Valley Fair Mall. So about 50 miles south of San Francisco, they've seen a 66% increase in sales as compared to 2019, a long forgotten pre-Rona era. I'm not sure why that might be. Maybe it was that time a CNN crew was robbed in San Francisco. Maybe it was the time the mayor of Oakland, right across the bridge, had her car broken into while she was at a movie premiere. Also, recently, a San Francisco neighborhood group raised more than $20,000 to install planters on the sidewalk to deter homeless camps. That was their own money that they raised, not the city's. There was also a mass casualty event in San Francisco's Mission District, not incredibly far from the Westville Mall, where 9 people were wounded, but the media doesn't really want to harp on that for some strange reason. And then this news breaks basically as I'm recording this video, 6 injured in car-to-car shooting along San Francisco's Embarcadero, police say. But whatevs. We could rehash these types of stories for days. The point here is that the SF Gate has come out swinging against what we all know to be true. As they should. Like I said, it is part of their job to defend San Francisco and create a completely false reality to trick people and protect corrupt politicians, allegedly. I don't know. You tell me. What really happened to San Francisco? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.